I guess the simple answer is you can always change your job. It's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really a layered and complicated type of thing to do, especially if you have kids, you have things you have to take care of. People can't just.
Hello everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Akilah.
Welcome to HeartsChat.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of HeartsChat. So tonight we're talking about kind of regrets in a way. So are you doing what makes you happy as far as your career? So when I think about this, the first thing that comes to mind is regret.
Yes.
Especially if you're in a position where you're not doing what makes you happy or what you love, or you're like, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Yeah.
This opportunity presented itself. I wish I would have taken that. Now I'm here.
Absolutely. And I think some of that kind of starts because a lot of us, when we're younger, we're kind of like, some of us, listen to our parents like, oh, don't pick that career, pick this one, when we're not really truly following what we want to follow. And it's kind of like, our parents are having good intentions, like, that might not make that much money or things like that. But it really comes down to like, you're feeling like, oh, I had to choose this job because, my parents wanted me to do it, or my parents are paying for my tuition or things like that. So then it seeps into regret years later.
Yeah. I think anytime you do something that you don't want to do,
yes,
that's what happens. Because I can remember us being in school and people that were older than us that had different careers already were going back to school to do something different. So sometimes you don't realize it's not what you want to do until you actually get in the field and you're like, it's not for me. So I need to change it. Maybe you thought you wanted to do that. But, sometimes with that, you could really save a lot of money if you just, I don't know. Because you can save a lot of money if you know what you want to do and you get there and you're like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do. I knew it from the beginning.
Yes.
But sometimes you think you know, but you don't really know. I don't know. That's kind of difficult to navigate that, because I kind of wonder, was there any type of inkling or something that said, I'm not really sure about this, and you kind of just went with it?
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. It is difficult to navigate. I wish, and there may be programs out here because I haven't researched this, but, I wish there was things in like high schools where you can go on these field trips or have a week where, especially like maybe senior year, like where you're going to different professions and living like that person for a week and really seeing what they're doing, the ins and outs of it, and seeing if that's something for you. I feel like that would help a lot of people.
Yeah, I actually used to work with someone, a teenager that was in high school, and we kind of did that because he was kind of unsure, and his mom was kind of like, we got to figure out what you want to do. So we went online and found some different schools that had some tours and things like that, and then we looked at different jobs that he was thinking about, and reach out to them to see, hey, do you have like a shadow program, or could this person come and shadow or talk to you about what your career looks like?
Yeah.
And those things. So sometimes the school won't do it. You kind of just have to do some of that stuff on your own, or you can ask your school, hey, can you help me? Or the guidance counselor, can you help me do this? This is what I'm thinking about. So it really just depends on the school. But I agree. It's something that's like well known, that we all know that, hey, they have this program. Because I remember at my school, we just took some assessments to see, like, this is probably the career path, you're going to do. But I also went to Catholic school, so we had that theology class about, what's something that you feel will make a difference, or what's something that God's calling you to do. So we had that kind of, which is, if you're in public school, you don't have that.
You don't have that, yeah.
Yeah, that's more something at home with your family, if that's what you believe. So there's a lot of different avenues. But one thing I always think about that my mom always talked about, because it was never like forcing me to do this career or do that. Like, nobody in my family ever forced. They just asked, like, oh, what are you thinking about? thinking about doing this, thinking about doing that. My mom always said, make sure you go to school and get all the education that you can, because what she was afraid of is not going to school, getting a job, at the time being like, okay, I have a job, I'm getting money. And you're
Yep.
like so excited about getting money because you have a job, but then like you're not doing something that you love or that you like, or you didn't get the education. Like if you want to change and do something different. So that's a big factor too. Some people get out there and just get a job because it pays the bills, I'm making money, and it's like right now, and they're not thinking about long term.
Absolutely. And kind of going off of that, on the other side is that nowadays too, it's really difficult sometimes to get a job in your field.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like nowadays you have this degree, you're going, and then it's like, okay, well, you want me to have 5 years experience and like sell my left arm. So I mean, like, so for new graduates, sometimes it's like, even if they have these degrees now, it's kind of like they're not getting in the places where they would want to be, and they end up at jobs that they don't want to be at.
Yeah. And that's really tough. And sometimes you even have, when you're young and you're in school, or, however old you are when you're in school, you'll have professors or your school advisor trying to guide you in a certain direction and say, hey, this is what your grades look like. This is what you need to do. You should just do this career. It's going to be very difficult for you to get into graduate school. To do this career, just do that. And somebody that might not have that much confidence in themselves, or maybe might not be that knowledgeable about the career out there because they're only in school, you might not know about the opportunities for that field as far as a career.
Absolutely.
They'll listen and just go with it, and that's why it's so important. It's crazy because when you're young, you're expected to make all these decisions about your career,
Absolutely.
and you have no idea. Like
Yeah.
you really got to do your research. You got to ask around. Networking is so important because I remember in college, my advisor wasn't very helpful for me. It was a professor that I became friends with, and another graduate student that I was his research assistant. The two of them really helped me a lot. They really guided me. I asked them a lot of questions. If it wasn't for them, my path would have been very different.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Yeah, you got to form those relationships and talk with people that you trust, people that like know you and they get you and they know what they want to do, and people that are actually in the field.
Absolutely, that's very true. That's a big one. People who are working in the field, because sometimes academics don't always necessarily transition to what's actually going on in your day-to-day work life. So, Erica, you're absolutely right with talking to someone who's working actively in the field and kind of like seeing what they're doing.
Yeah. So I guess all that to say, that's pretty preventative. That's like the preventative stuff.
Yes.
So what about somebody who like is grown now, working their job, and they're like, I wish I would have done something different. But now I'm here. So, hey.
I guess the simple answer is you can always change your job. It's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really a layered and complicated type of thing to do, especially if you have kids, you have things you have to take care of. People can't just change their jobs like that. So I'm thinking if you start a little bit slower, whether it's like, okay, you're continuing your job, but if you have free time, 10 minutes or so, like researching, okay, what else do I want to do? And taking it slowly so that you can have that opportunity to kind of change when necessary.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. You got to make a change and plan.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be miserable, especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
That can be a lot because can see everything. And they will associate with that with like, work. That's what work is about. When you can have a job that you feel is fulfilling, that you enjoy, but also on the other side, if you are in that position, you got to make the best of it because it is your job, and we spend more time at our job than we do at home. Realistically, we do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And yeah.
You don't want to feel like blah or like negative all day. So you really got to find, okay, what what can I like about this job? What are some things that I can say I enjoy this, or I'm making a difference in that way, or, it pays well, or I'm able to take care of things, able to take care of my kids. I do have a job. So just finding things. The people I work with are nice. I like the area where I work, different things like that to try to make it a bit better.
And I think, also, if it really is kind of not feasible to change your job or to change your career, I think maybe implementing different things throughout the week or throughout the month of things that you truly, truly enjoy or like to help kind of go against the job that you don't like. It kind of helps you look forward to something that you're doing.
Exactly. Because I'll say all the time, your job it should not be your life.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't. So you can do other things. Like, okay, I go here, this is where I'm at, I make my money, but this is what I also do this other stuff too, and makes my life a bit more full. And I also think, like, when you think about, like I said, the first thing that comes to my mind when you think about, are you at a job that makes you happy? And if you're not, I think about regret. I think with that, and I'm not saying if I was in that position, I would feel regret. I'm just thinking about if I'm thinking about somebody who may feel that way, or thinking about, how might a person feel if they were in that position? I also think about a learning opportunity, like learning from it. Because it is information. It's like, I don't like this. So next time, this is what I'm going to do, And sometimes when things happen, it's not always for you. That can be a learning opportunity for somebody else. For somebody
Absolutely.
else that might be in school, or like at that crossroad where you were one day, or for your kids, or, maybe a niece or nephew, somebody that that you can pass this on to them.
Yeah, learning and teaching.
Exactly.
No, that makes sense.
Okay. So this topic was pretty interesting. It was here, and it was like a few places. So we'd love for you to join our conversation and leave your thoughts below and add on, or if you have any questions. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to HeartsChat today, where we speak from the heart. We hope that you enjoyed our show. Catch us every Sunday and Tuesday on our YouTube channel and our website, which is HeartsChatRadioshow.com. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages at HeartsChat Radio on Instagram and at HeartsChat on Twitter and Facebook.
We love to hear from you. If you have any questions or topics that you want us to talk about, email us at HeartsChat@HeartsChatRadioshow.com. And for all of your personal relationship questions, visit our website, HeartsChatRadioshow.com, and click the From Erica's Heart tab. Your question will be answered within 24 hours. Thank you for listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart.